Welcome back to A Closer Look. I'm Linda Fontaine. If you're just joining us, I am with Representatives Micah Van Huss and Bud Hulsey. Thank you again for being on the show. We left off talking about businesses and how we can bring them to our area a little bit. Who would like to chime in regarding that?
Well, I'll go ahead and start if that's okay, Bud.
That's fine.
Well, first of all, that's very, very important to my folks back home, is our economy and good paying jobs. And as an overall view, I believe that government should not attempt to create jobs, but create an environment for job growth. Government should get out of the way. And, and so cutting red tape is a big part of that. The aerospace park is something that the Northeast Tennessee delegation has been working on for a couple of years, led by Representative Timothy Hill. And so I'm very thankful to his work and the support from the area legislators. The state has put in $10.1 million for the aerospace park. Dirt is moving now. And so the state is the biggest stakeholder. The local governments have put in, I think, 6.1 million. I think it could be 8.1. Anyway, the local governments have put in a lot too, so this should bring some good, high-tech, good-paying jobs to the area, and so I'm very much looking forward to supporting that.
Very good.
I agree 100%. We always have a focus, at least we're Republican-led in the House. You know, we have a supermajority. It doesn't mean all Republicans always agree. I didn't realize there are about 7 brands of Republicans when I got down there. But they all do agree that we need to create an environment where as Micah said, there's not a bunch of red tape. We're friendly to business. And as a result of that, you have lots and lots of business moving into Tennessee. And we passed a bill a few years ago, or a couple of years ago, working on this border program that Bristol capitalized on and Chattanooga capitalized on. And we right now there's an issue in that particular bill of the wording dealing with what stores and hook stores and anchor stores can come in, but it's a bill. I'm carrying one of them. John Crawford's carrying the other to fix that confusion in the bill so that Tri-City Crossing can begin to develop here. So we look forward to that.
What is the confusion in the bill?
The Commissioner of Revenue, the bill specifies an anticipation of how many people you're going to have to shop in a year there. And I think it's 2 million, and how much revenue, tax revenue, that will build. And so the commissioner views this anchor store as being a particular type of store, rather than some of the stores that want to come in here. And without getting too specific, that's what the battle's over, is what could really qualify as an anchor store. But we're trying to fix that confusion so that Tri-City Crossing can begin to flourish.
Well, let's hope that can be resolved soon.
Yes.
Because I would love to see some more things be developed in this area.
Yeah, that should help. The aerospace park should help.
Yes.
And of course, you've got some regional output that they've been working on here, Washington County, Sullivan County together in a region to promote that same kind of thing. So I think you're going to see some things come to fruition over that.
Oh, I hope so.
We've also got the Boones Creek exit over on Interstate 26. Some really good businesses being built over there near the DMV in Boones Creek, and the state has already started on the process of changing that intersection. So being able to have the infrastructure to be able to support some new businesses coming in, and so very much been working on that for a little while now, and look forward to seeing it come to fruition. Glad
to hear that.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's talk a little bit about some controversy that's going on right now. There's some protests going on.
Yesterday, the Speaker of the House was assaulted. A protester threw soda or milkshake, something on him. Got another representative, and it's over the Nathan Bedford Forrest bus, Confederate General, here in Tennessee. And I've got very passionate views about this. What makes me gives me the most consternation is the hypocrisy involved in trying to push the evils of our past down on the Confederacy. First of all, to say that someone, just because they wore a Confederate uniform, fought for slavery, that is ignorant of history. If you're going to apply that logic, you're going to have to say that every Revolutionary War veteran fought for slavery. If you're going to apply that logic, you're going to have to say that I, in Iraq, fought for abortion. I didn't fight for abortion. I fought for this country because I love this country, with the hope that one day we could overturn the evil of abortion. And so the hypocrisy that goes on with what they're trying to push off on our history, it sickens me. But we can't forget our past. We need to be able to know what is wrong, the things that have been wrong, and be able to know those so that we can exist as a culture and live in peace.
Absolutely. Do you have an opinion on that, Bud?
The other side of that is what bothers me. We've gone in a society now where people don't discuss much anymore. They don't sit down and talk. They don't have discourse. They scream and yell, throw things.
I agree.
If you come down there, you will see when we have bills that are controversial, people don't sit down and talk with you anymore. They line up and scream and call you names and throw things at you. It's insane.
Whatever happened to friendly debate?
It's almost out the window. And I, if you go on social media, it's the same thing.
Yes.
People don't talk. It's all emotion.
And it's all name calling.
It's all name calling.
It's not facts. It's not
yes,
keeping the emotion out of it. It's talking about the facts and what can we do to come to an answer here that we're all
it's exactly
happy
right.
with.
And this side of this debate is what really rankles me, because even some folks who in my own district disagree with me, we're at a place now where they won't, or we can't sit down and I say, let me hear what you have to say, and let me tell you why I disagree with part of it, or why I agree with part of it. But a lot of times it's just reduced to screaming emotion, calling me names and everybody else names. And
Oh yeah, and I'm tired of all that.
I'm too.
It just promotes hatred.
Yeah. And it manifests itself in the hatred going on in our world. It manifests itself in very bad ways. And we get a little bit into the school shootings topic and the way that the world is now, the way our country is now. I'm 40 years old. I wasn't alive back in the days when what I'm getting ready to talk about. But guys used to bring their rifles to school to go squirrel hunting afterwards, or if they got it for their birthday, they'd show it off to their friends. And we have come a long way from those days when that was what guys did. And I don't know the answer, but I know that we have done three major things as a country since those days. We have legalized the killing of babies. We have strived so hard to take God out of our schools, and we've trivialized the importance of family through entertainment, through Hollywood. And we have come a long way. Folks are at each other's throats, and people are committing atrocious crimes, and it's a moral decline. If you remove the moral backbone out of society, society breaks down to every man doing what's right in his own eyes. And so we need to pray for this country. We need to pray for our state. I continue to do so, and it's obviously a problem.
I agree with Micah too. That people argue with me all the time, but if you read what the founders said, what they wrote, there's no way you can deny that law and government and institutions in this country were not founded on biblical principle. They were. Just read what they said. John Adams, the second president of the United States and a signer of the Declaration, said the principles upon which the founders achieved independence were the principles of Christianity. Now, a lot of folks on some sides hate that, and they don't like that, and they disagree with that. But if you read what they said, this country and its institutions and the Constitution were built on biblical principle. Well, we've educated and legislated a lot of those principles out over the past 60, 70, 80 years, and there's always a payoff for that. And I think we are seeing some of it now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So in summary, we've got a few minutes left. If you could say anything to your constituents at this point, what is it that you would like to be as your main thing that you've done while you were in office here, or you've succeeded in doing or done to make this area better?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'll start. First of all, I guess the first big battle that we had was over annexation, giving folks the right to vote when a city comes to annex their property. And that was a a 2-year fight. I rather enjoyed it, and we ended up winning for the people, giving them the right to vote. And so I'm very thankful for the people of District 6 for putting their trust in me. We will continue to fight. Again, the killing of babies is, I think, it is the most important issue of our time, and it needs to stop, and I aim to facilitate that, to get it to stop. And so, I'm grateful to the folks at District 6. Keep an eye on me. There's a lot of arrogance down in Nashville. I sit there and I say, I see other representatives who don't carry bills. They just vote, they go out at night, they drink, they have a good time. And I say, not about the drinking, but sitting there, and I work so hard to carry bills, and I say, sometimes it'd be nice not to have to work so hard down in Nashville. And I said, if that ever becomes my mentality, that's the day I need to stop running for office. And so I tell my constituents, keep an eye on me, because I represent them, I serve them, and if I ever don't do that, then I need to go.
Very good.
I agree with Mike. There's some folks down there who view that as a career. They plan on staying there the rest of their life. And I view this as a very small window that's open for right now. My mama says, she's 90 years old, my dad's 94. My mom says, do things that have eternal worth in the time that you have left.
I love
and
that.
That's the way I view this. This is a short opportunity for me, so I want to do what I can. So, along with what he's saying, to me, the overarching big responsibility that I have to District 2 and my constituents is to make sure that I preserve the integrity of the Constitution, because it's that piece of parchment that keeps chains off your ankles and a whip off your back. So that's at the center of my mind, is the preservation of liberty based on the Constitution. And so I try to run bills to fix those kinds of things. If I've got time, I'll show you one. I found out that trucks that go across scales were getting 2 citations, one a criminal citation to criminal court and a civil citation to pay a fine civilly, which is unconstitutional. You play in one court or the other, but you can't double dip. So last year I got a bill passed that says you do one or the other. So they chose to do the civil side and do away with the criminal side. Well, the television station in Knoxville, when this went into force January 1st, they called and said, you cost the clerk here $250,000. What do you say to them? And I say, well, my job is to preserve the Constitution and right wrongs, not worry about generating revenue. But it's those kinds of things where my heart's at, is to fix things that are blatantly unconstitutional or a law that's biased.
Very good. Well, thank you both for being with us today. I really appreciate it, and I've learned a lot from both of you and where you stand for, and I think that's important for us to stay informed and knowing what our representatives are doing for us. Thank you. And we'll be back next week, same place, same time, with more from A Closer Look.